Hello and welcome back to another command block tutorial. Today's video we have something really special for you, and that is basically a controllable dragon. With this you'll be able to fly around, wreak havoc, and even breathe some fire and destroy, I don't know, whatever you want. It's your dragon, guys, you do what you want. Now this tutorial is something that's actually really special to me because one of the first things I always wanted to make with commands when I first started out, I think it was actually on Java Edition when I started, was to make a rideable, controllable dragon. Now, of course, I wasn't quite able to figure it out back then, but it's really fun to bring it back now that I have a little bit more experience with commands. Now, I will, of course, say it is a bit jittery, and unfortunately, just because of the way commands work, there isn't a ton we can do about that. But, either way, you still get a really fun, remote-controlled dragon, capable of wreaking havoc, breathing fire, and just, honestly, being really fun to fly around and control. Works in third person, but I honestly like how it looks in first person best because as it's turning, it will actually angle its head, which is just really cool. But anyways, let's fly over to the commands. Scenically. This is I'm fine. I'm fine. This is normal. I'm fine. As you can see, there's actually not a ton of commands compared to some of my other larger projects recently, so, you know, once the fire goes away, I will begin to start showing you those commands. Really, the main two functions that we're going to be having are going to be controlled by two items, the dragon's egg and the dragon's breath. So, obviously, what we do to actually summon in our dragon, I will take up my Elytra just for demonstration's sake. What we do is we just hold our dragon's egg, and you can jump, you don't have to, but just sneak, and you actually summon in your dragon. Now, in order to dismount your dragon, all you have to do is sneak to basically the same way you would do on a normal ride, like a minecart. As you guys can see, obviously we're actually riding in the minecart, not the dragon itself. And boom, the dragon just poofs out of existence. So it's like a really handy, transportable, collectible, rideable dragon. It's convenient. I don't know, guys. It's convenient. The other thing that you guys will notice is that when I'm actually riding on my dragon, I showed this off earlier, obviously, if you hold dragon's breath, you will breathe fire all over the place, and it looks really cool. Can't breathe fire in the water, obviously. But yeah, those are the main two functions of the dragon, so let's actually show you how they work. And smooth dismount. He roared at me, he was mad. That's okay, I'm only enslaving him for fun. Alright. First thing that we're going to be doing is checking at the player. They're holding a dragon egg in their hands, and they're sneaking. Summon the Ender Dragon. Oh, we're also checking to make sure there's not an existing Ender Dragon, because obviously we don't want multiple. That would be uncouth. Next up, exact same command, except we're summoning a minecart this time. Yay, minecart. Next thing that we're going to be doing is making it so that the player that is sneaking, so once they summon the dragon, you're automatically going to be riding in the minecart. Pretty self-explanatory stuff, I feel like. Next up, this is what's going to happen if you dismount. Basically, if there's no longer a player in the minecart, the Ender Dragon is going to teleport to these coordinates. This is under the map, just so you don't have to do all the dragon death animation wherever you try to dismount. It's a lot smoother. And it's also just going to kill itself once it hits the void, because we don't want dragons just, you know, in the void. That wouldn't be good. It would be bad. You don't want dragons in your void. So my doctor told me. Anyways, then we're going to be doing some stuff with the minecart. So what we're doing is at the Ender Dragon, we're going to basically tag any nearby minecart with the tag dragon. This way we can differentiate between a normal minecart and the minecart we're using to ride the dragon. Then we're going to be basically doing the same thing that we did with the dragon. We're going to teleport the minecart all the way to these coordinates if there's not a dragon nearby. It's only going to be the special minecart, so as you can see I can summon in a normal minecart. Bada boom, bada bang. He's still chilling. He's still normal. He's just, you know, minecarting as you do, you know, minecart. But this way it's going to differentiate between the dragon minecart and the normal minecart. Pretty simple stuff. I regret saying that. Alright, anyways. Next thing we're going to be doing is actually teleporting the minecart onto the dragon. All we're doing is, of course, looking at the dragon and teleporting the nearest minecart. We want it to be about 3 blocks up. This is kind of the coordinates I had, what you guys saw in the demonstration, which puts you pretty square center on the dragon's back. So we're going to go about 3 blocks up, and we have a little bit of carrot stuff because Well, we go a little bit to the side because for some reason, if you don't do this, you're kind of off to like the right side of the dragon, which looked weird. So about negative 0.7 centers you. And the negative 0.2, which you think would normally make you go backwards, actually moves you further forward on the dragon, which I'll explain why in a couple of seconds. There's some weird stuff going on with the commands that I only just figured out. But essentially, this is all we're doing. And this puts us about where you saw earlier in the demonstration. The next thing that we're going to be doing is, of course, teleporting the dragon forward. And this is once again where things start to get a little bit funky, because we're basically executing at the end of dragon, we're making it teleport in place, rotate it as the nearest player, and then teleport 0.6 blocks forwards, and then this right here, this 180, turns the dragon around. Now you might be saying, but Guppy, I saw you earlier, the dragon wasn't flying backwards. Actually, it was. For some reason, and I only figured this out while doing the commands for this tutorial, the dragon actually flies backwards with commands. Like, wherever its tail is facing is actually where the dragon faces. I don't know why, but, yeah, I don't know. If you guys need to do any dragon commands, might be something to keep an eye out for. And then we just have the same command repeated once again. This is all it is to it. If you guys want to make the dragon go faster, you can make these numbers higher. If you want to make it go slower, make the numbers lower. It's entirely up to you. It's your pet dragon. And last but not least, we have the actual flame breath attack type things. I should also mention, if you don't really care about the flame attack, you just want to ride the dragon, you only need these commands right here. It's not a big tutorial. So the first is more or less only if you want to be doing this in survival, because the dragon damages players that are touching the dragon. And I will warn you, it's not the best experience to play this command system in survival, because you're just going to be constantly taking damage. Now, the resistance here is going to make it so you don't actually lose health, but you're still going to be constantly taking damage. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is much better experience in creative, but it still functions in survival. You're just constantly getting damage ticks, and it's a little bit annoying. But hey, you still get the dragon, so I mean, you know, not too much to complain about. Anywho, that's just something for survival. I probably should have lumped that over here, but yeah, you might want to have that if you're doing this in survival. Next up, this is the actual fire breathing that you guys saw. We're checking out the dragon, if there's a minecart, and if there's a player in that minecart, and that player is holding dragon's breath. Hold on, I might have a typo here. And we're back from the edit, because I accidentally had to work at every player, not just the player riding the dragon. Works in single player the old-fashioned way, but, you know, I thought you guys might prefer the multiplayer-friendly version. Anyways, all we're doing here is looking in front of the player who's riding the dragon, and filling the area in front of them, so we're going 30 blocks out, and filling more or less a 10 by 10 by 10 area with fire, with keep. So this is going to make it so it doesn't destroy blocks, just puts fire on top of them. Great fun for pillaging. And this is also even more optional. This just makes it so every time you start your dragon's breath, it's going to growl. It's purely cosmetic. It's definitely not essential, so feel free to cut this part out, but it's really fun if you guys want to include it. What we're doing is we're just checking at the dragon, checking at the minecart, checking for the player that's riding it. If they don't have the tag roar, but they are holding dragon's breath, play the growl sound. Next up, same thing, we're just adding the tag roar. Finally, any player that was holding dragon's breath, as in they have the tag roar, but they have a quantity of 0, meaning they're no longer holding dragon's breath, remove the tag roar. This makes it so that the next time you pull out your dragon's breath, you're gonna roar. It's pretty simple, man. And then more or less the same as the roar command, except minus the roar tag. We just have a little bit of a sound that is actually going to be playing as you're breathing fire, although I'm going to be honest, you can barely hear this. This one's also optional, but hey, feel free to include it. And yeah, that about wraps up the tutorial. Not too complicated, so I hope you guys enjoy. Well, I could normally end my tutorial there, but instead I think it's a better idea to just do my little outro and then pillage the city behind me, because why not? I have a dragon. What are they going to do? Anyways, if you guys need help, please feel free to drop a comment talking about what you need help with. But I do really encourage you to check out our Discord. The link will be in the description. There's a bunch of people who are going to be willing to help you. So please make sure to give that a look. And, alright, that's all I got to say. Dragon time. Oh, look, my old commands.